My watch was screaming at me. It's like, drink. You need to drink water. You're dying. You're dehydrated.
You must be dead.
And I'm like, no, dude, it's cool.
It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a modern podcast where we talk about everything that's great, like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name is Mike Royer.
And this week we're taking a vacation with Spider-Man, going far from home.
Okay.
All right, Disney plans out our next 8 years of movies for us, Mike.
Sounds like we got 8 more years of a podcast.
That is job security if we were getting paid for this. We get our first tease at Lobo in the Krypton TV series.
Okay.
And more.
And I'm back, everybody.
Oh, Lord. He is.
I'm not sure exactly how Chris filled in everybody last week because I was in too much pain to listen to our own podcast. But I will give special thanks to fill-in replacement Adam Niemiec. I was told you did a great job while I was getting wisdom teeth pulled from my mouth. So that was not a very fun week for me, but I had a whole lot of free time. So I watched I watched a lot of movies.
You had them pulled. So me and Adam were assuming you had your wisdom teeth put back in last week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Common misconception.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, usually people go in for designer teeth. You know, they want to get their favorite celebrity's teeth or celebrity-alike, celebrity-adjacent, maybe like Robert Downey Jr.'s, like Pool Boy. You want his molars put in your mouth just so you can feel a little closer to the Robert Downey Jr.
Well,
I got mine removed.
It's like a grill, but for your wisdom teeth, right? So they're way back there and make sure nobody can see them.
Yes, exactly. So now I'm slowly moving my way off of soft foods. I'm just glad I can be back on the podcast. A little disappointed I didn't get a chance to talk all about Sonic and Ghost Rider, which were pretty big news last week. But they will, like all news, come back around again eventually, and I'll be able to talk about them probably in another month or two.
Yeah, Mike's got opinions. That's for sure. And I don't even have it in here yet. We just got done recording a review episode as well, and for anyone we'll talk about here in a second, but Mike brought back my favorite segment of his where he laments what is actually designated the summer movie time series, because we haven't had one of those in a while.
I need some sort of organizing body. I need somebody with authority over Hollywood to just really put in goalposts of what is summer, just so we understand, because Endgame, I don't think it's a summer movie. It's not. Like, I've never considered April summer at any point in my time. So that's just where I land on that.
I also think it was originally May as well, and they moved it up, though. I think in Infinity War suffered the same fate, and I used fate in air quotes here because I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, move it up. Like, let's move that as close as we can because we want to watch these.
Not complaining. I'm not saying it needed to be a summer movie at all. But I was able to get a lot of pop culture thing done.
Yeah, what were you watching? What did you do
while I was laid up on the couch? So I finally got around to pseudo beating Sekiro. That game is way too hard. The last bosses are way too difficult. I watched YouTube videos of how to beat them. I was never going to beat them. There's a large chunk of the game that's just optional that I was never talented enough to beat, so I just went on YouTube. I just watched all the alternate endings that I would never get anyway.
You know why that game is so difficult?
Why?
Because in that, the subtitle is even Shadows Die Twice, and you got to kill Shadows 3 times. Like, you can't even kill Shadow once, man. How you doing this? The title tells you it's difficult. I'm sorry. I'm in one of those moods this week. I don't know why. It's just puntacular here.
Puntacular. But I did do a fun experiment this week, which is something I've been meaning to do for a while here. So I finally got around to rewatching Akira, which is the anime that's very well-renowned, very well-known for just being just an absolute classic. And then what I wanted to do after I finished watching Akira was I wanted to immediately watch the one Taika Waititi film that I haven't really got around to seeing, which is Hunt for the Wilder People, which both of these are on Hulu, so it's a very easy back-to-back. And if you don't know, the reason I did this is because Taika Waititi is supposed to be making the live-action Akira movie. So I was like, let's just see if I can kind of see these two things coalesce. And after watching both of them, still not too sure how it's going to work. I guess Taika Waititi has another film called Boy, which I haven't seen, so I don't really know the tone of that film. But basically, everything Taika's ever done has a very kind of goofy, kind of lighthearted tone to it. It does have emotional resonance to it. There are points where he can kind of get deep and really connect with maybe the drama of a character, but I'm really kind of stretched here to see how it's going to work. And I don't see it, but I'm excited to see that first trailer to see what the hell happens here. But I got in a little bit of an argument with friend of the show, Quentin Parker, about Akira because...
Oh, Lord. I was in on this group text, and I was trying to just do lawn work, and I looked down, and it had to have been 100+ messages I'd missed on this thing.
Oh, yeah. It has been a long time since I've seen Akira, for sure. I think I watched it when I was just a kid, just dipping my toe into anime, and everyone said you got to watch Akira. So when I was a kid, I was all for this movie because it's like a gruesome adult anime. There's blood. There's body horror. There's awesome science fiction, near future stuff happening here. Really cool for a kid to see who's just really dipping their toe into this. But as I kind of watched it now, there's definitely room for improvement on that film. Like the main characters of the film, in my opinion, don't really grow. They're not really different people by the end of the film. I don't really see, you don't really emotionally connect to the two characters. Like I, for a long time, thought the two main characters in the films were brothers. But after I went back and watched the film, I guess they were just always around each other from when they were kids. But they don't really try to connect them that well. So there's this weird kind of emotional bond that really never gets described. I don't know. I'm sure there's someone yelling at me right now that loves Akira, but I'm just saying it's not a bad thing. It was still a good movie. I still liked it, but I think there's definitely room for improvement. So transitioning Akira to live action, I think there could be some benefits there. So like I said, send your hate mail to superheroslate@gmail.com if you really have strong opinions about Akira. But that was an interesting back-to-back movie marathon that I did while I was laid up on the couch. But yeah.
All right. You off your soapbox about Akira?
I'm off my soapbox,
All right.
Chris.
That's fine. Well, also Watiti is doing one of the episodes of The Mandalorian. So we might be, which didn't seem to have, from that leak footage, that same cheeky tone that he's known for. So maybe he's a little more versatile in some other regards. So I'm excited to see what he does with that. Maybe we can gauge
you definitely cannot judge a director just on the stuff that he's directed, because a talented director should be able to do anything. We've seen lots of people out there with range, so I'm not saying he doesn't have it. I just haven't personally seen it yet. So just really looking forward to what that combination creates.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got some time to think about it, so yeah, go us. I got nothing else to add to this, Mike. I haven't done anything else that's cool this weekend that you have this week, so I think we jump into our news with our Detective Pikachu review. We just literally got done recording right before this, so spoiler free. It's at the beginning of the episode. Spoilers later, but if you haven't seen it, our spoiler-free thoughts right here. I think it's a good movie. Not worth seeing twice, but worth seeing once. And while it is still a Pokemon movie and, adheres to some of the Pokemon tropes and, how their storylines, they're not really deep storylines. It's still a really fun time, and the characters and the Pokemon all make it come to life and has a really good time with it. So I think that's my quick recap without giving anything away, because it's Detective Pikachu. It's about solving those mysteries, Mike. So I don't want to give anything away. But what do you think? Share your spoiler-free thoughts.
I had a great time. I love seeing this interesting world that they brought to life with live-action Pokemon, I guess you could say. I love Ryan Reynolds' voice acting. He basically does that in the Deadpool movies since he always has a mask on. So he's doing the same thing here, voice acting with Detective Pikachu. So I really enjoyed that. He was hilarious. They did an interesting job kind of threading the needle of avoiding these weird existential questions about the Pokemon universe, which maybe will be answered later in the future with other Pokemon movie. But I really love this. I would love to see more of Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu if they can figure out a way to do that. So this, I would recommend this for sure. Go check it out. It's fun. Even if you don't know a lick about Pokemon, I think you can still have an entertaining time with this movie. But of course you'll get more out of it if you understand Pokemon. There was a point in the movie not really spoilers, but you get to see like a binder full of Pokemon cards just offhandedly in the movie, and I was like, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, Mike flashed back way back to the 90s, the late 90s, real quick. And I flash back to my bedroom right now where I have all these Pokemon cards I've been collecting. I've got quite a few. Also, shout out to Andrew, one of our super fans of the show, sent me his thoughts and stuff, and made sure I got my free Pokemon cards when I went and saw it, because Mike didn't.
No, I didn't.
I was there. I got my free Pikachu cards because, as you know from the trailers, he likes coffee, and I think one of his moves is called Coffee Break. So I thought that was a fun little tie-in, fun little promo there. So yeah, let's start Detective Pikachu reviews. Spoiler free first, spoilers later. You're gonna watch it. It's like I said. I think it's we said it's probably bar's not very high, but one of the best video game movies out there. If you're gonna watch
it. I put the stake in the ground. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, and I think there is literally billions of dollars to mine here of more Pokemon movies in the future. So just like back in the day when you were seeing Iron Man and Incredible Hulk for the first time, kind of curious maybe what was going to coalesce from these movies, I think we're kind of at that same point here right now. Maybe this movie isn't going to be quite as critically and financially as successful as maybe the first Iron Man movie was, but I think there's something kind of magical here that could happen. So keep your eyes out. We're going to be getting more of these movies.
Gosh, do we like magical things? That is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, here's our weekly. This is like our second Avengers Endgame box office report, and let me tell you. This movie is on its way up and up, Mike. Right now, it's $300 million short of them Avatar dollars.
Ooh, we're getting there, man.
And Avatar, as we know, is the number one. James, when it passed Titanic last week, I think, James Cameron's like, it took one iceberg to sink the Titanic, and it took a whole Avengers to sink my Titanic. And I'm like, nobody likes you. Get out of mine. So...
I do like the idea that he's going to have to commission a whole nother social media graphic for when Avengers Endgame takes Avatar. So he's just like, oh, well, I replaced the iceberg with the Avengers logo. What's his plan for when it overtakes Avatar? So I just love the fact that he's like, man, I got to make another one of these.
Yeah, exactly. And, just kind of, it is now, Avatar is now in Disney's wheelhouse. So who's really losing here? Nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody. Do you think it can do $300 million in the next couple of weeks with all the other big movies coming out? We have John Wick.
I think it can.
Okay.
I think this movie has legs for sure. It's going to be playing all summer. I think it's not going to be until literally we see the first leaf fall off a tree until it starts to kind of abandon theaters altogether. Maybe some of the smaller houses that only have so many screens. But yeah, this is going to be making just bucks all summer. And I mean, everybody out there seems very confident that this movie is going to overtake Avatar. So I guess I just got to go with the general consensus out there,
Yeah, I'm very excited to see kind of what it does and how it can it make, because if this movie can't do it, what movie can, Mike?
Yeah, exactly.
We're at that precipice of can Avatar 2 even be Avatar 1? I don't think so. I think the novelty of Avatar is worn off after 10 years of it being out.
Yeah.
So,
but at the same time, I never count out James Cameron. No matter how you feel about the man personally or whatever, even if you think Avatar might just kind of be Pocahontas reimagined with a lot of money, he made Titanic, he made Terminator, he made the Alien sequel. He's made a lot of really good things. So we'll see if James Cammy, he's still got it. There is that kind of lingering rumor that he's working on glasses-free 3D. I mean, that could be a big game changer right there. I mean, seeing a 3D movie without glasses, that might revolutionize things all over again. So I'm still waiting to hear more about that. I feel like I haven't heard a drip of news in a while. So, yeah. But didn't you guys last week talk about how Avatar got pushed, or did that happen this week?
That was this week. This is brand new.
Okay,
we'll
gotcha.
talk about that. But yeah, I mean, we're in that zone where the chance is there, and they just need to take it. And we don't have to worry about it landing on any other streaming service because it will be on Disney Plus this December, which feels like forever away at this point. So
talk about a huge selling point for this streaming service. Not only do you only have to pay us, what is it, $7 a month, I believe?
Oh, at least, yeah.
for $7 a month, you can get, I'm sure Endgame is going to be on there alongside of Infinity War. You can watch those movies back to back, right on the comfort of your own couch. You can check out The Mandalorian, all of these other animated movies. They're going to have other originals ready to go at the end of the year. I mean, who is not going to, I feel like it's going to be almost as synonymous as Netflix. Like right now, anybody I run into, I just assume that they have Netflix, unlike you, Chris, who have other means to get these shows.
I have HBO, the premium paid service for that, so I got something else. A lot of people don't.
Yeah,
so
there you go. I just assume everybody has Netflix, and I feel like in a couple of years we're all just going to assume everybody has Disney Plus because Disney dominates the box office, and if you want to watch those movies again, just subscribe to their streaming service and you'll just catch it there. Man, just what a service. Talk about content.
Yeah, what's really sad for me is that me and my wife already have a lot of these movies on digital anyway. So it's just like, well, we're paying for a lot of stuff we have, but a lot of stuff we don't have, which I think is also maybe how they configure the pricing point on this, because you're like, I already have all the Marvel movies on digital. Why would I, if I'm going to watch those on Disney Plus, why would I want to pay again, I guess. But I don't have the Star Wars on digital. But I don't know. I'm interested to see, but that's December 11th. You can watch Endgame. If you don't want to buy it, it'll probably be on DVD and digital well before then. But if you have to wait, that's about 1 month after Disney Plus launches. You can get it all in there. Everyone can sit down for their annual Christmas gathering and watch all the Avengers movies back to back to back. However, on the other side, if you've not seen this movie, you're one of like maybe 4 people in the world at this point. But the spoiler ban has been lifted for this movie, and spoiler ban means like the Russo brothers say it has been lifted, so people can post behind the scenes sets and talk about the movie freely. Does that mean we're going to? Probably not for like another couple weeks.
Yeah,
but
I'll probably still be a little cagey, or at least if I'm about to run into it, I'll put a spoiler ban out there, because I believe the Russo brothers did clarify after they said the spoiler ban lifted. That doesn't mean you can just run through a shopping mall and just start screaming spoilers. Yeah. If you're having a conversation with someone, understand who you're talking to. Are they the type of person that has seen the movie yet? Because I know my parents like these movies, but they don't rush out and see them anytime soon. They might go see it in a week or two, and I was chatting with them on the phone the other day. I'm not about to spoil the movie for them because I know they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not actively out here trying to do it, but I mean, there's going to be some things we're talking about here in a minute that deal with the ramifications of Endgame. Simply because that's the way the movies work. Every Marvel movie going forward will probably not be set before Endgame. Hopefully, knock on wood. We don't want prequels, right, Mike? Because we know how those end up. We don't like it. So, but if you haven't seen it, I'd rush out as soon as you can, because the internet is a cruel, violent mistress that will not take your personal choices into consideration.
And also, I've heard the new TV spots for it are basically spoiling everything that happens in the movie. Like all of the big moments that we talked about in our review that just made us like cry tears of happiness and like freak out and jump out of our chairs and jump up and down. They're just throwing all those up in the TV spots. So God help you if you haven't seen the film yet.
Yeah, exactly. God help you. But that brings us to our next point. Spider-Man Far From Home, as I predicted yet again this week, Mike, has dropped another trailer. The first official trailer, I guess, not a teaser. And this opens up a whole can of worms.
Wow. I wasn't expecting such a big bomb to be dropped in this trailer, just kind of almost innocuously, just a little bit kind of partway through the trailer. Big deal, folks. We got a multiverse.
Yeah, right?
This is huge, because this isn't just kind of like a one-off thing. Like, this is probably how they might structure the entire MCU moving forward. Like, Nick Fury literally says, the Snapped ripped a hole in our world. And apparently now, I don't know if they have control over this dimensional breach or what exactly is going on here. I've been watching a lot of Flash recently, catching up on that show. And they've had these multiverse dimension time travel stuff going for seasons now. So I feel like I already know a lot of different ways that storytelling could go in that direction. So this is huge. This is huge. A whole another Earth. This is basically like comic book lunacy happening on the big screen.
Mm-hmm. Or is it?
Oh, okay. What's your angle? What's your take, Chris?
So this is Spider-Man Far From Home. We're dealing with Mysterio. Is Mysterio a trustworthy character in the comic books, Mike?
No. Historically, no.
No, he's not. So, I want there to be a multiverse. I want to believe this. I feel like X-Files every time I say that. I'm like, I want to believe, but you're a tricky son of a gun, Mysterio. And are you telling the truth, or are you just trying to pull something off here? There is a clip on YouTube, not YouTube, Twitter somewhere, where he actually says that he's from Earth designated 838, which is...
I saw that, but I didn't want to watch it. So I was scrolling through Twitter, and I saw like the video clip. And after I was watching it for like a couple of seconds, I was like, why does this like all look like ripped cam footage? The trailer just came out. And then I realized I was watching like an extended scene. I was like, oh, what is this? And I threw my phone away because I thought I was watching a spoiler.
It's not really anything huge. He just tells you he's from Earth designated 838, which is where the Spider UK is from. Spider UK is a mixture, is like that version's Captain Britain, but in Spider-Man's body. And Spider-Man is the protector of the multiverse, the Captain Britons are. So he could be, there could be a fun little Easter egg, or it could be the truth, one of the two. Because he's like, oh, your Earth is 616. It's not, though. 616 is the comic book universe. Just like turning into the Spider-Verse, that Miles is 1610. It's not. That's the comic version. So I'm taking all these numbers as more like fan service than actual designations.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Because you're like, well, you're 1610, but maybe you're not my 1610. The numbers are subjective, but this trailer was really fun. You get a sense, Spider-Man is back in his Iron Spider armor at the beginning of the trailer, which we didn't see in the other trailer. Which
I wasn't expecting that. I don't know what's going to happen there. It seems like too overpowered. Like if you're playing a Street Fighter and a character was made a little too powerful. I don't know when the next patch is going to come through and remove his spider arms, but I want him kind of back to a normal Spider-Man suit at this point. Yeah.
Something's probably going to happen where he loses it, or he decides not to take it with him and ends up just taking his older classic one. Because that's when we see him in there. He's working with Nick Fury. Looks like is her name MJ or whatever? Michelle figures out she's Spider-Man.
I would just call her Zendaya.
Yeah.
Because if we don't quite know exactly.
Well, I think her name was just Michelle, but like she figures out like he's Spider-Man pretty early. She's like, yeah, it's kind of obvious. Yeah.
I'm a little different on that scene. I mean, obviously you got to chop things up and make them happen a lot faster and more concise in a trailer, but it just seems so choppy that I don't know if maybe she's just being totally sarcastic on the bridge and they're just cutting it in a way where it's not actually Spider-Man. So I wouldn't take that exactly for what I'm seeing. Just kind of like how you're a little mysterious about Mysterio right now.
Yeah. Well, and also Sony is notorious for butchering trailers before the movie comes out. So we could be right, we could be wrong. They could be taking some Marvel hints and throwing us for a loop here. That looks fun. I also noticed that big swirling stuff above the London Bridge actually has a face this time. And I'm thinking, bear with me, Mike, all these elementals combine together and create that larger monster, because it looked like there was fire, water, and earth, and maybe an air elemental, all making that one larger elemental that they're fighting at the end.
Yeah, I mean, this multiverse definitely explains a lot of these larger questions I had when the first trailer came out. Of the characters that we were seeing were all very magical. We were curious, like, where did Mysterio get his powers from? Is he tapping into something kind of Doctor Strange-esque, and maybe that's where he gets his powers from? Mm-hmm. Where did these elementals come from? We haven't really seen anything quite on this scale in the MCU, and the MCU likes to be very consistent with its storytelling. They're not just going to throw in a lava monster without finding a decent way to explain it. Yeah. And aliens, it's easy to explain aliens. They're just from a different part of the universe. They just evolve differently. That's how you kind of explain like something coming to planet.
But didn't they say in the trailer that these elementals are from another Earth, another parallel universe?
I don't know if they said that directly in this trailer, but I know they didn't really explain it in the first trailer.
I think it's implied that they're from another universe.
Yeah, and that's what I would assume, and that's kind of like this great. I don't know if this multiverse is a great idea if Feige really has his control over it, and there's no reason that we shouldn't trust Feige right now. But I feel like a multiverse could really get out of control and get unwieldy if we don't rein it in or try to figure out what's going on here. Because a multiverse isn't just giving us access to one Earth. It's giving you access to like an infinite amount of Earths and all of these infinite different types of characters. So I don't know. I feel like maybe it could get out of hand, too difficult. But it doesn't seem like we're going to be doing any more time travel. It seems like they wrap that up in Endgame. So I don't know. I'm curious, like, how are mutants just going to come from the multiverse? Are we going to get the Fantastic Four folks from a multiverse, or are they going to be from a different time, or what exactly is going on here? So this could explain a lot of things and places that they want to go. But yeah, it's kind of cool that we get it announced so quickly. I wasn't expecting it to really just kind of pop off right in a Spider-Man trailer, you know?
Yeah, and exactly. And this trailer also does give the ending of Endgame away a little bit, and gives us, it's a heavy with the Happy Hogan kind of coming in here. Looks like they got Jon Favreau to film more than one day this time.
Yeah, you got Tom Holland at the very beginning giving the spoiler warning if you haven't seen Endgame yet. So I guess we won't give it away too much right here. But if you watch this trailer, you just ruined the end of Endgame.
Yeah, pretty much. You don't know what's going on. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fun movie. Tickets are on sale. I bought my tickets, Mike. We were talking about this before the show started. You can get, this is a rare situation where they've actually gone back to midnight showings for this.
But because it's in a very kind of bizarre day it's coming out on.
Yeah, it's coming out, mine is 12:01 a.m. on Tuesday, July 2nd. Because it was, I think, July 5th, I think, that Friday. They moved it up because of the July 4th weekend. Or week, well, I guess.
I think it was probably slated to come out. Its actual date, I think, was probably July 4th. Is what it was, which was a Thursday. But then they're like, oh, well, it's July 4th is the date. All movies come out the day before anyway, so let's do it Wednesday.
Well, it was the 5th, though. I updated our calendar. It went from 5 to 2. So
okay. So it's really crazy that a movie can get pushed back into a Tuesday. But if you want to see it on Tuesday, it's at midnight. So there's not going to be a 7 screen. So I don't know I don't know if I'm just going to take a whole week off work. What's going on here? If I'm going to see like a random, am I going to see Spider-Man at like 10 a.m. in the morning? I don't know. So, but right now you can only buy those midnight tickets.
Yeah, it is going to be quite the, I don't know, long evening, I guess, if you will, for that, because I got my 12:01. I'm like, oh, I gotta probably go to work the next day, don't I? So we'll be getting out of that at like 3 in the morning. So maybe I'll take the morning off to see that. But it'll be fun. It'll be good. There's a lot of promotions going on with this out. I've got a couple pop vinyls. Mike was able to get his hands, you lucky son of a bitch, on the Dr. Pepper Dark Berry flavor that we reported on like 6 months ago with the Mysterio packaging.
Yeah, the first confirmed bullhead from Mysterio came from a Dr. Pepper can, so he's got his own flavor, Dark Berry, which usually I drink a diet soda. This was just full sugar, which I'm totally fine with drinking. It's not like I'm opposed or scared of it, but it was really good. I really liked the flavor, so cop it if you can. Get some of that.
Yeah. So you recommend it if you can?
Oh yeah, I'd recommend it for sure. It's I don't really know how to explain it. Just tastes like Dr. Pepper with berry flavoring in it. It just goes together well. You know, that whole thing of Dr. Pepper is like 23 flavors to begin with anyway. So throw some berries in there. It tastes pretty good.
It's now the 24th flavor is dark berries. I gotta say, my local AMC theater, they're doing a kettle corn release for Spider-Man, red and blue colored kettle corn for Spider-Man, and the smell was awesome. So I'm gonna be getting me some of that Spider-Man kettle corn. Probably bag it up, keep it as a collector's item. You know, sell it in a few years when it's gone. But
good financial planning there, Chris.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. I'm always looking towards the future. Captain Marvel came out in March, and you know we're already looking at the home release date for this month. Digital's May 28th, Mike. I did a poll of some people who'd watched Endgame. A lot of them have not seen Captain Marvel yet.
Oh wow!
And I was like, "You're doing it wrong. You're just doing it wrong." The physical release is June 11th. With that as well, deleted scenes. They mentioned deleted scenes. We're gonna get that Stan Lee intro from that one. We get to watch it at home. The little tribute intro to the movie. I'm excited to add this one to the wall, and then eventually Endgame. So
I'm looking forward because when the streaming service launches, Disney Plus, Captain Marvel will be there waiting for us. And the first thing I'm going to check is if special features are going to come on Disney Plus. I don't know if that's been confirmed or hinted at, or if anyone's asked, but I would love a streaming service for once to have special features. You know? Yeah,
exactly. And we have that, what's it called, Movies Anywhere, that Disney used to have. It was Disney Movies Anywhere, now it says Movies Anywhere. And you can sync all your movies across all your streaming service. Not streaming, but like purchasing services. and they all take the special features. So I would really like to they learn something from that and use that a little bit. So I'll be down for that. I'd be down. So get your Captain Marvel later this month or early next month. I got the Steelbook on the way. You know me. You know how I do. Marvel's Phase 4 is the biggest question, and we've got some answers and some more questions coming up after this. But Bob Iger says they will announce Marvel's future plans this summer. That gives us two options, Mike: SDCC or D23. Which one you banking on?
I hope it's Comic-Con. I mean, in the whole spirit of what Marvel and the MCU is, give it to your Comic-Con audience. They're the ones that are going to love it way more than D23. Because your D23 audience is there for multiple different reasons. Of course, they'll love Marvel, but they also love everything Disney. So, but just give it to the Comic-Con audience. And of course, I'm biased here because we're both going to be at Comic-Con this year. So who knows if we'll even have a chance of getting into Hall H, what kind of massive line we'd have to tackle just to get in there to see it. But I just want to be at Comic-Con. That's where it's most deserved.
Do I need to camp out for Hall H? Is that how I celebrate my first year going? Is just camping?
I mean, I don't know. It's honestly up to you. Everybody forges their own path when they go to San Diego.
If anyone has any experience on this, let me know, because I might consider it. We've got a good weekend ahead of us, Mike. So if I need to miss some of it just to make sure we get Hall H for us, that'd be a big get. That'd be a huge get. But Disney went ahead and gave us out of nowhere a bunch of release dates for Marvel, Star Wars, Avatar, and other movies. There's a hell of a lot of movies they announced this week with new dates, and Marvel didn't move a single one of them, to be completely honest.
They don't have to. Everybody's scared of them.
Yep, they've got every first weekend in May locked down for the next 3 years. Several Novembers, a couple of Februaries, and July, right in the middle of it. It's a late July too, which is weird. I was gonna bank Spider-Man for that July thing because we're due for Spider-Man right in 3 years, 2022.
Yeah, but probably. I would guess one of these February dates is probably a Black Panther.
Black Panther, yeah. Maybe a Captain Marvel sequel for one of them as well. Doctor Strange might be a November one.
Yeah, because his first film was in November, and I mean Thor. He's technically still in the game. He's still a card in the deck. Well, he could also be in November.
Well, he could also be a Guardians of the Galaxy, which could be one of these Mays, because the last Guardians was a May, and probably 3 years could have an Avengers again. Avengers 5, I guess, right? Because they're doing those every 3 years. So.
Yeah, I would guess title-wise it'd probably be called like the New Avengers or something like that. They'll probably go with different nomenclature after Endgame. But that's just my guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just they'll just call it Avengers 5. Keep it real basic, that way.
I would like to see a Young Avengers, just so you could kind of see the angle of being a group of superheroes, but all very young. Like maybe even younger than Peter Parker. Maybe Peter Parker would run the Young Avengers. I don't know. Tom Holland maybe will be a little too old for that, but he could probably still play it. He looks like he might be perma young for a while, but I would love to see a Young Avengers.
Yeah, we're in definitely a new era for Marvel, so who knows what's happening in that side of the world. So yeah, they've got some 3 years planned out for us. So we're gonna Marvel. Star Wars added 3 brand new dates for unannounced movies, Mike. And these are not 10, 11, and 12. I'll tell you that right now. So the first weekend before Christmas in 2022, 24, and 26 will all get a new Star Wars movie before it.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what they're going to be, right?
Yeah, so there's a couple options. We had the Benioff and Weiss, the Game of Thrones guys are doing their movies trilogy about probably the Old Republic. They've got Rian Johnson's trilogy there. There could be an Obi-Wan movie, which we thought might go to Disney Plus. But I was looking at they're kind of 2 years back to back to back, so maybe this is just one little trilogy there.
Yeah, it would make sense. I mean, they kind of said that they wanted to take, I guess this is their version of taking a break from Star Wars, which is not really taking a break, but maybe it's instead of one every year, one every 2 years, still kind of makes you feel a little bit more like it's an event movie. Mm-hmm. It's not something back to back to back. There's a chance that these actors in these films could possibly do something else in between these films, which might be a good thing for their careers if they wanted to branch out. But yeah, it does make me think of Knights of the Old Republic myself, because I would think that I don't know, Ryan. Like we just haven't heard a whole lot from Ryan Johnson. I feel like after the Last Jedi.
Well, he did in February say yes, his stuff's still coming along. We've heard even less from the Game of Thrones people.
Yeah, that's true. But then maybe it's because they're busy with Game of Thrones. But that'll be wrapping up soon. I would think maybe once the Game of Thrones just kind of news cycle and bandwagon is over, maybe D23 is going to be the time to talk about Star Wars movies, and Comic-Con this year will be the time to talk about Marvel movies.
I don't know how often Star Wars Celebration is, but I'm thinking next year. Let the Rise of Skywalker have a little breathing room, and then announce them after that's done.
Could happen.
But they got to start production on that pretty soon, I guess, to start knocking out a 2022 movie. That's around the corner. So believe it or not. I mean, it's hard to think in 2.5 years we'll be getting a Star Wars movie that out of the main trilogy, out of the main saga, I guess. And I guess that might be their term for a break too. Like, hey, we're not worried about the Empire or Skywalkers or maybe even a lot of Force users. So yeah, Star Wars has got 3 movies on our calendar now. Avatar, James Cameron keeps taking the hits this week. His was pushed back, some 1 year, some 2 years. So every other Christmas between 2021 and 2027 will be an Avatar movie. And I am not thrilled.
I would think that James Cameron probably isn't too annoyed about that. It seems like if you're a big blockbuster movie that's maybe not connected to a comic book franchise, December seems to be a really good month because you don't have a whole lot to compete with. You know, you can probably run January, like all of January without any competition. You could run into something maybe in February, but you know, we've seen a lot of rated R movies hit there, so you could have all of February almost to yourself. So there's you got a lot of track in front of you for sure. It's not like you have to worry about in 2 weeks a gigantic movie premiering, you know?
Yeah, that we know of yet. A lot of dates are still open. It's just, this is literally booked every December for us for 7 years in a row.
This really pushes back our Avatar rewatch because I kept saying, oh, when these Avatar movies finally start to come out and release in theaters, we should rewatch Avatar and do a spoiler cast on it, you know, kind of re-engage in the franchise. And now I don't have to worry about it for even longer. So
exactly. But then you have to worry about it every year. We're going to have the Avatar rewatch every year, building up to the next one, you know, every 2 years. Oh, well, Avatar pushed back. Surprising news, New Mutants has a new release date, and despite what being pushed back may be to April 3rd, 2020, Disney usually holds their release dates pretty good. So New Mutants from Fox, what was made by Fox, probably get all these reshoots, will be released April 3rd, 2020, but they took Gambit completely off. What did we really lose, Mike? Everything. Everything.
I mean, I know this is Disney, a corporation, making a statement, but I just don't believe it. Just because this movie is really going to come out a whole month before another slated movie for May, I feel like whatever 2020 May movie that they have is going to be much bigger and more important than the New Mutants. I just feel like this has just been in such a production hell that I feel like you're just not going to be able to polish it and fit it in the MCU.
But they don't want to fit it in the MCU. It will come under the Fox umbrella. I guarantee it'll say Fox Studios.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll still have that umbrella on it. But like everybody knows, mutants are a big deal and they're on the line and they're going to be developed into the MCU. And eventually we're going to see Wolverine again on the big screen, palling around with probably Spider-Man, which is something I've always wanted to see. So hopefully I get that movie. I just feel like they're saying it's going to come out and then, oh, surprise, it's actually not going to theaters. Maybe it's going to fall apart. I don't know, Chris. This is such a bizarre movie. It just, I wasn't expecting to get such prominent placement for sure at the beginning of April, you know?
I mean, I don't think anything's prominent, but also that you have to look at, like, they don't care, like, what comes out a couple weeks beforehand. Like, they're going to put whatever they want out, and I think this isn't going to be, I think this might get the R rating and become a 4-3. Because you know what else came out at the beginning of April with an R rating this year? Hellboy. Like, it's not a good movie. It's an R-rated movie that they just had to put out to recoup some money. And I think this one will. I think they're going to get the reshoots. I think it'll be the R movie, and I think it'll still come out 4-3 because a lot of R movies are hitting that April spot right now. And this is lining up with that. And if they take Gambit completely off, they're like, well, we're not afraid to cancel things that we have been promised forever. So, like, if they were going to cancel it, I figured they'd just go ahead and cancel it, and not even put it on this release schedule for the next 8 years. So, I think we're gonna we'll get an R-rated version. Will it be good? Probably, maybe, but I don't know.
Maybe they'll just spin it in a really weird way and say, "Oh, this is one of those random multiverses that we've been talking about for a little while now. You're never going to see it again. It's just in this random pocket dimension that we're not going to bridge over to in any of our other movies. So watch it and then get it out of the way."
I think you're overthinking it because they're still putting out Dark Phoenix and not spinning it as a multiverse. So
well, I think. I feel like public perception of Dark Phoenix is different than New Mutants, because I think everybody knows Dark Phoenix has all of these still actors holdover from all of these other X-Men movies. They've already kind of billing it as kind of like the final X-Men movie, and I feel like at the end it's going to have more of a wrap-up of like, here we go, here's all of our Fox X-Men movies, we're finally wrapping up this whole trilogy, this chronologically, and I don't think anybody's worried about the public trying to connect this to the MCU. But New Mutants, it's this whole new refresh. We don't really know exactly.
But I don't think the public is going to connect it to the MCU either. Like, no one knows mutants. They don't have no one has any inclination that mutants will be connected to the MCU at all yet by that point. So they're just going to be like, "Yep, here's another mutant movie," just like Deadpool. Like, we're still going to make Deadpool 3, but the X-Men universe is dead. So what's he going to make fun of this time? There's a lot of just nebulous stuff where it can exist, but it doesn't have to connect to Marvel, and nobody even. I don't even think no one will put the 2 and 2 together that this was even could be remotely related to Marvel by the end of the day.
I think we need to hire some professional pollsters.
Yeah.
Go out there in the world and see what the public's thinking, and what's middle America thinking. I gotta know.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, I don't know what this is. I don't know. I didn't watch any of these movies. Where's my tractor? Somebody get me some corn.
Oh, geez, Chris. That's okay. We can say that because we're from the middle of America.
I'm literally there right now. I'm right there right now. So.
Chris is looking out his window. He's looking at a corn and a tractor right now.
Exactly. Oh, my gosh. Look at those farm animals. The Eternals is possibly one of those Marvel dates, probably 11/6 of next year, and they've cast actor Richard Madden, who I believe played Robb Stark in Game of Thrones, as Icarus. The lead character and the lead Eternal in that series. So
I don't know jack about the Eternals, so I'm really looking forward to eventually a trailer or a synopsis or something.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of ways to take them, and I don't know which way they're going to go with the movies. So I can try to tell you about them, but it's not going to make any sense because the movies are going to have to do something way different. But Icarus, if you look up Eternals, you're gonna see like this blonde guy that has like these circles on his belt and his chest, like several circles that look like the celestial circles. He's Icarus. That's the main guy. So he's just like a near immortal, lots of every superpower kind of thing. But we'll have to see what they do with the movie going forward. But I guess if you. I mean, Richard Madden, wasn't he in live action Cinderella as Prince Charming as well? So these Game of Thrones actors, they're taking over superhero movies now that they're done. He's been done for a while though, hadn't he? He kind of died. He kind of died. I didn't watch that season. Anyway, we got some rumors for some upcoming Doctor Strange and Guardians 3 movies. You ready for some rumors, Mike? Mark these as rumors.
Oh, okay. I was waiting until we kind of got to this section because I did come across maybe this same list of rumors that you're about to talk about, but I skimmed them very quickly because sometimes I'm worried that rumors could be insider leaks, even though they're probably not, and I don't want to get too overly spoiled, so I'm curious to see what you've collected here.
So, since Doctor Strange 2 and Guardians 3 are not announced, and maybe scripts are done, we don't even know, and they could change after the events of Endgame, but the Doctor Strange 2 is supposed to have like a 1980s setting for some of it.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Exactly, with the Ancient One returning and introducing the character Jericho Drum, who is called Brother Voodoo in the comics, and Clea. Clea is known to be like, I guess, one of Doctor Strange's love interests in the comics, I think, and she was replaced with the Mean Girls star in the movie as a different actress, as a different character, but that's really about it for Doctor Strange 2.
No. Well, my interest in the Doctor Strange universe has ramped up considerably since the first movie. Thought his first movie was, just kind of mid-tier Marvel, but after he's just kind of grown and shine as a sorcerer in these Infinity War and Endgame movies, I'm just like, I'm at peak right now. I want to see more of that magical nonsense. I'm all on board. I don't really know how they pull off a 1980s setting because I kind of am hoping that we're maybe done with time travel here, but I guess with magic, all things can be possible.
Well, Doctor Strange did have the time stone at some point, but I mean, maybe this is like there's a flashback to something in the 80s is leading up to today, because at the end of the other one, we were given the phrase no more magic,
sorcerers.
Right? Yeah, no more sorcerers. And Brother Voodoo and Clea are both heavy magic users in different ways than Doctor Strange. So, I don't know. Every what it says, the bill comes due after every time you use the time stone.
True.
So it could be that. Could just be rumors that are rewritten by the time
there's got to be a gigantic bill that comes due after using kind of two different sets of the Infinity Stones to just make basically 3 genie wishes with them. There's going to be a gigantic bill.
Four. There are 4 snaps because he used the stones to destroy the stones.
Oh yeah, that's right. We saw that was off screen.
Yep. So yeah, four big snaps across some time there. Guardians 3 is leaning more, I guess, into some comic books, with the villain being the High Evolutionary. Are you familiar with the High Evolutionary?
No, but this is one of the rumors that I read.
Yes. So the High Evolutionary, actually a really cool character. He's like just a normal human, but he wants to he gets involved with genetic manipulation based on the work of Nathaniel Essex, who is Mr. Sinister in the X-Men. Mm-hmm. And he starts, essentially creating like anthropomorphic versions of like animals and stuff like that, like really experimenting on them. And in this version, not the comic books, they're saying that he is the Rocket Raccoon's creator on whatever planet he was on.
I like that idea because one of my, I think, favorite parts about Rocket is how he has this kind of very damaging past that we don't really know much about, but kind of really reflects on his personality. And that was a really emotional moment when he opened up in the first Guardians movie about how he didn't ask to be like this, because we just kind of all assumed like, oh, a funny talking raccoon, he must like the way that he is. Like, no, he didn't choose this life. So I would be down to see his creator.
Yeah. The other rumor is that with Rocket, are you familiar with the character Lila at all?
Oh God, no.
Okay, so she was like an otter who's also created into like a Rocket version, like a walking, talking thing.
Okay.
And she's in the comic books, but she's also in that video game, that Guardians of the Galaxy video game from Telltale Games, where you press the buttons as it does stuff, like walks you through.
Okay.
It.
Yeah.
So she may be in it. You can actually buy pop vinyls of her, Mike. I have one. But
of course you do.
But the last thing is that, and I don't know how I like this, that Drax finds out his daughter is still alive after the attack, I guess, from Ronan on his planet that we learned in the first one. Now, in the comic books, his daughter is technically a character called Moondragon. Like, she was also in the comic books. This is a whole different thing. Drax and his daughter and his wife are humans. Drax was pulled out and created into the Destroyer. His daughter was pulled out and created into this big telepath. They can't go that way. Obviously, they're not humans. They're from another world. But if his daughter's alive, she might be the Moondragon character. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like that one as much as the other ones. It doesn't fit very well. I don't know. What do you think? Anything?
Yeah. Well, where's Adam Warlock? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, he's probably in there somewhere. But that's not as nearly as surprising as these other bits, I guess, if you will, at the end of the day. Did you ever watch did you ever watch the Spider-Man Unlimited show?
I think maybe I've seen one or two.
Okay. Because in that one, Spider-Man travels at the beginning of that to counter Earth, which is the same Earth the High Evolutionary is creating, the society with the human-animal crossovers. So,
man, it's a good thing we have you on the show, Chris, because damn if you don't know all of these little things.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of High Evolutionary was in a couple books I read, but yeah. Anyway, those are some rumors. Chalk them up as rumors. I don't know if any of them will come true. A lot of in-game leak stuff did not come true at all. So, we could be in a new world of just fake leaks for fake leaks' sake. Nova, a lot of questions about the Nova character. There is now rumored to get a solo film in development at Marvel Studios. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, that would make sense, because the fallout from Infinity War, where Xandar is destroyed, would mimic the Nova more recently in the comic books that dealt with the Annihilation Wave, where there was one character left who, like one Nova Corps member left, and he had all the Nova intelligence in his helmet. So they could definitely go that route if they wanted to.
Yeah, I think I saw a quote somewhere that they said it was James Gunn's responsibility to kind of introduce Nova because he's this cosmic character. So I don't know if James Gunn would do it himself or if maybe he would reach out, tap somebody else to do it. But yeah, it makes sense for him to have cosmic roots for sure.
Or is James Gunn's, I guess, involvement in the cosmic change since his firing and rehiring?
Yeah, I would hope that it just goes back to the status quo, to be honest. I mean, the whole idea was he was going to be in charge of this whole other side of the MCU, so hopefully that goes forward. One of the other rumors that I was reading from that list, which obviously gigantic stones of salt with all of this, is that we probably won't be seeing mutants until Phase 5, which, if that's true, I think that's great. That gives you plenty of breathing room until you reintroduce mutants, the whole idea and concept, so that makes sense. But I think one of the more interesting things was this magical person who has all of the answers was saying that we're not going to have any big gigantic arcs anymore. We'll have kind of smaller, more condensed arcs that maybe just span over 2 or 3 movies. So I'm kind of interested to see how that goes, and maybe that could fold into Nova a little bit since he's this cosmic character. So maybe we get Guardians 3, and that maybe the end credit scene teases Nova. We see a little bit of Nova, and then maybe Thor 4 maybe goes a little cosmic since he's out there in space. Maybe he's not with the Guardians anymore. So maybe we get one of our little arcs here where the Guardians and Nova and Thor all team up to fight some sort of space threat, you know. So that could be a possibility. And I feel like, I don't know if this is a quote that I saw or maybe it was in the rumor list. I feel like it's just been a fever of just news all week. But it seems like they're trying to keep the grounded MCU more separate from space. You know, it seems like our Endgame and our Infinity War was our time to kind of cross over, but it seems like they're going to go back to kind of almost keeping them different universes for the most part. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm down for Nova. I like that character. I haven't read a whole lot of him, but I've always kind of liked the idea of this kind of like space soldier that's kind of in these ranks. So we'll see how that turns out. You know?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options here, and we literally have no idea, and anything could be, we could be proven wrong at any given second because they haven't announced anything yet. Maybe Hall H. Maybe Hall H.
Oh, maybe Hall H.
I'm gonna go get in line for that right now.
Yeah, you need to.
I am. Are you excited for Ultimate Alliance 3 at all? I'm very excited.
Chris, I'm not going to lie. I'm not excited, but I'm not excited.
Okay, you're in the middle. Great. So there's 7 minutes of gameplay from Game Informer that came out online. So if you're looking to get excited for Ultimate Alliance 3 out for Nintendo Switch this summer, you can check it out. It looks a little more hectic-y and like roomy than the other. Like you're in one room and you have a lot of enemies rather than like you're flowing through multiple rooms and getting a lot of items and things as you go. But you know what, you'll take what I can get because I really always wanted another Ultimate Alliance game, and if this is what I have to suffer through to get it while we wait for the Avengers project from Square Enix, I will take it.
Yeah, I'm clicking through the gameplay video right now and I'm watching like Cap fight with a shield, and it looks pretty cool. He's like flipping it around, doing cool tricks with it. I saw Rocket talking to what's that transporting dog from Inhumans? What's his name? Lockjaw. Yeah, so there could be some fun here. I don't have a Switch, but they might be announcing like a dirt cheap Switch sometime soon. E3's coming up really soon in just a couple weeks, so maybe we'll hear more about that there.
Yeah, or I mean, this also supports 4-player local, so you can if you went over to friend of the show Quentin Parker's and played with him, if he got it, so you could do that, and then we could play online. I think it has online capabilities. I'm gonna have to definitely look out for that myself. So yeah, I'm excited for Ultimate Alliance. If you guys want to see the gameplay, check it out there. We're gonna switch gears over back into the DC a bit here with Batwoman has been ordered to series at the CW finally, which is no surprise at this point. So
yeah, they the TV upfronts are happening soon. I think they usually take place over a week or two. So I believe CW's is next week. So we got our teaser trailer here, which is the definition of a teaser trailer. You just basically got her standing on a rooftop with a flowing cape. And we'll probably get a full trailer next week during the upfronts. So we'll see how that goes.
In that regard, CW has already renewed their shows. They did that in January.
Yep.
So they're not going to give us any more upfront, I think, for CW. They just announced Batwoman. There's a Riverdale spinoff, and then I think maybe 2 Riverdale spinoffs coming up. So they're really liking that. But we are getting the last season of Arrow this fall, and the last season of Supernatural. So CW's going to have to fill a couple holes there with some of their biggest shows, you know. And looks like Batwoman is one of those shows to do that.
I'm personally expecting a shorter first season, kind of like what they did when they announced Black Lightning of just I think maybe 13 episodes.
And what was it? Legends of Tomorrow did the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's a general trend with CW. I think a lot of networks are going to start going for the shorter seasons because I think it helps them pivot a lot more with their shows. It helps them fill these like rerun holes, which is like when you're in a streaming landscape, you can't afford to air a rerun, so you just got to put up your next 13 episode show when you run out of episodes. So we might be seeing more of that over at the CW. But I'm down to watch some Batwoman. CW shows, or I guess these Arrowverse shows, have a trend of kind of going downhill a little bit season 2 and then trying to crawl their way back up. But the first seasons are usually always very fun. So at the very least, check out the first season of Batwoman. I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yeah. And she's already had her crossover episodes with all those gargoyles that Mike likes.
Yeah, the gargoyles.
The roof gargoyles. Check it out. The Suicide Squad, the movie version with James Gunn coming up. He's bringing a couple of regulars back with him. Michael Rooker is in talks to be King Shark for the movie.
Oh, that's cool. I love King Shark.
I like Michael Rooker. I think it'd be a good match made in heaven there for him.
Yeah, for sure.
To do that. And then also Benicio del Toro is rumored to be the villain called the Mayor, who I have no idea who that is. Couldn't find any info.
I like that James Gunn kind of just has this squad that follows him around. You know, that's usually a sign of a good director. If you're seeing a lot of the same folks pop up in their movies, you know, kind of Christopher Nolan style, it just means that these people, they really jive and get along. So that's always good chemistry for the screen.
Yeah. I think they said David Dastmalchian, I can't pronounce his name, the guy who's like Baba Yaga in the Ant-Man movies. He's like really good friends with James Gunn anyway, and he's supposed to be the Polka Dot Man as well. But
oh yeah, I think I did see that news. Yeah, that Polka Dot Man seems just weird enough for Gunn.
I think all this is going to be really weird. It's either going to work or it's going to fail horribly. One of the two. I don't know. But we got him back at Marvel. That's what matters. Krypton dropped a little Lobo teaser, amongst other ones, this week, showing us this crazy space vigilante mercenary spouting off all the different names he has. He's kind of like a Daenerys Targaryen of space bounty hunters.
Space accomplishments.
So, look pretty fun. I've not watched Krypton season 1. I've heard really, really good things. They've got Doomsday coming up. They've got Lobo. They had Brainiac. I mean, everything's looking like this show's shaping up to have a lot of fun with what they're given out there compared to the movie counterparts of those characters as well.
Yeah. It's just so crazy to see all of these CW shows just trying to do everything they can to not include these big tier characters, even though literally Superman is on Supergirl, and then there's rumors that he might be getting his own show at some point in time. But damn if they'll let you show Batman more than just the back of his neck.
You can't have Batman in Batwoman, but they did get Batman in Titans. You weren't here last week when they cast the guy who plays
Sir Jorah.
Yeah, Sir Friendzone.
Yeah, but they said, correct me if I'm wrong, they said he was going to be Bruce Wayne specifically. So who knows if he ever even puts the costume on.
Well, they already showed the costume in season 1. They had a different actor in it. It was from a distance, I think. But like, that's the person who's supposed to be in that costume, I guess.
If I squint, I swear I can see Batman.
Yeah, that's an older guy for that role. That's just throwing me off. But Lobo seems like fun. He looks like he's a fun dude. I'd probably watch a Lobo here or there. This is hot news, Mike. This actually came out while we've been on the show.
All right.
The Witcher on Netflix with Henry Cavill play Superman is rumored for a December 20th release date later this year. And that season 2 is supposed to begin production when season 1 drops already.
Wow. I mean, I don't know jack about The Witcher. I don't know anything, but Netflix is in this very pivotal moment of its service where they're about to get gigantic kind of AAA competition from all sides. And they're picking up all the IP. They got The Witcher, they got Cowboy Bebop, they got Avatar the animated series coming to live action. They're doing everything that they can. So Henry Cavill is top tier. I mean, basically, if you crank back to the 90s, he's kind of, I would say he's like at Brad Pitt level of famousness and billing and what he can get for a movie. So this is a big deal.
Far, but yes.
Well, it's almost impossible to go that far because that level of celebrity probably isn't achievable anymore in the type of landscape that we live in. But Henry Cavill, he's up there. So the fact that Netflix can get him on a series, that's a big deal. So December 20th, that's going to be it's going to be a busy winter, man.
It is. I mean, from what I hear, it's an expensive show to make, and they're going all out on it. So we'll see. Maybe the best video game TV series.
Maybe.
I don't know. Also based on a book before the video game, so I guess it'd be a book series. Anyway, John Wick 3 comes out this week, Mike, and I've not seen a John Wick in theaters yet, but reviews are saying this is the one to watch.
Oh, I haven't. I've been doing my best to avoid anything. So
to be completely honest, I didn't read them either. I was just assuming that they were all saying good things. They were like John Wick reviews. I'm like, they're probably saying good things.
Yeah, so. I'm looking forward to it. I've seen everyone in theater so far. It's not a big accomplishment. There's only been 2 of them, but I'll see if I can catch one in theaters this weekend. Man, this is cool. I love this franchise. I'm excited.
Yeah, if I can, I will. If not, I'm not seeing it at all. I wanted to say though, there's I think they're going to have a John Wick Fortnite crossover because they
really?
They built his house from the first movie in the video game. And if you go to the basement and knock out the floor, there's literally a loot chest there to get all the weapons. A bunch of weapons and stuff.
That's clever. I like that.
Yeah, and the what is it? The hotel, the Continental. That placard from that is in a hotel in a different town on the map as well.
Oh, everybody wants to be connected with Fortnite because, I mean, that's another thing that Netflix is competing with, eyeball time, and apparently a lot of eyeballs are on Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, the Avengers stuff was really fun. I want to be honest with you. It was really fun. I'm sad it's gone, but, it was really fun while it lasted. So John Wick, that'd be the next thing. I think the skin for playing Season 3 to get to the 100 was actually a John Wick skin. So, yeah, they really like their John Wick, man. They really like him. But that's our news for this week. We have put out a review episode and a regular news episode. We are back at it again. Is this considered summer? Are we in summer yet, Mike? Tell me.
All I know is that it's Mother's Day, so I think
true.
it is technically summer now.
Happy Mother's Day. It's not summer till my wife's out of school, and she's not out till the end of the month. That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, happy Mother's Day if you're a mother listening. I know we have a couple that do and write in. So happy Mother's Day to everybody, and especially to you, Mike.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If people want to know what you're up to, what you're doing, how you're celebrating your Mother's Day, where can they find you at?
Well, I do the best to be the best mom I can be. You can follow me at Mike Royer Design on Instagram and Twitter. You can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com. Chris, if people want to catch up with you, see what motherly, matronly things you were doing today, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Valdan, Valdan, or Instagram, Valdan87. First thing I did when I woke up today was vacuum the floor, Mike. Straight out of bed, straight to the vacuum. I was on point. Then I went grocery shopping, so boom, roasted. You can also head over to Comic UI, and if you want to listen to our Detective Pikachu review, it will be in the feed as well if you subscribe. But if people want to know about more of what we do, Mike, and all the other stuff we do, where can people find us at?
Please, as always, visit superheroslate.com. You can get our awesome show notes there. So we talked about a lot of cool things, some rumors, some links to some teaser trailers and non-teaser trailers. We got that all in the show notes. So all you got to do is visit our website at superheroslate.com. And you can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And you can get merch at superheroslate.com/store. We love hearing from you. If you hate me because I was dissing Akira at the beginning of the show, or you can reach out to me. I want to hear from you, but only if you've seen it recently. don't come at me if you haven't seen this movie in the last couple months, because I want some fresh takes from your brain. But you can reach out to us. We love hearing from you. What do you think about the multiverses? Do you think Chris really needs to own that random Otter Pop figure? Does he have a problem? Reach out to Chris if you think he has a problem at Valden.
We will schedule an intervention. I understand.
But we love hearing from you, and also we love our super fans. Our super fans are the best, because we love hearing from us. We love hearing from them. They love hearing from us. And super fans are great because they usually go on iTunes and leave us reviews. So special thanks to anybody out there reviewing us on their podcast app. That is great. That is so beneficial to everything that we do here. And we love hearing from you. We love talking to you. And we will be here next week. So adios, everybody.
Yep, we will catch you guys then, and have a good one.
Alrighty.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.
I promise
That's our
I
intro
was
right there.
I promise I wasn't saving that just for the show.